Okay, it's 10 o'clock,
Okay.
so we can officially start. Hey everybody, this is Marine Dubard of Vignobles Dubard in Bergerac and Bordeaux. I put a little map up there to show where Bergerac is, and I'm going to ask you, Marine, to tell us about you, where you live, and where you make wine.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're situated in the southwest of France, 1 hour east of Bordeaux, on the right bank of the river Dordogne, in between Bergerac and Saint-Emilion, actually.
And so you also have property in Bordeaux. Can you tell us about those appellations that many people might not be so familiar with?
Sure, yes. So the main estate, as regards, size, is in Bergerac. It's Chateau Lollery. It's 85 hectares. Then we have another estate in La Lande de Pomerol, so it's near Libourne, which is 8 hectares, and another estate in Puy-Seguin-Saint-Emilion, so northeast of Saint-Emilion, in an area called Puy-Seguin-Saint-Emilion. It's a satellite of Saint-Emilion.
And how come Bergerac, being right on the border of Bordeaux, is this is a little bit of history, but why is Bergerac not part of Bordeaux? Because it kind of touches it.
Yes, well, it's history mostly, but it's very ancient history. Bergerac was quite Protestant area, and you need a border at a certain time. And when they drew a border, they decided to stop here in between Bergerac and Saint-Emilion. But it's a very hilly landscape with a lot of character. So we're not far from Bordeaux, but it's very quiet, peaceful, and nature is really unspoiled. So we feel really lucky to live there and make wine also here.
It's beautiful there. If anybody has the chance, I've been a few times, and it's really one of my favorite places. The rolling hills, especially out where you live, is just extraordinary to drive around.
Well, it's great to drive around, and it's if you like running or cycling, it's quite an adventure.
And running, you're a runner, right? You guys are still, are you and Greg still getting out to run?
Of course, yes, we run in the vineyards up the roads because we are not allowed to go very far from home, but our vineyard is our home, so we can still run.
And at some point, you're going to take us out in the vineyard, right? Because part of the reason I started this chat was people are locked up, especially in New York, in their apartments and desperate for some sunshine. And so I'm trying to come out. I'm in Connecticut, and coming outside in the back deck with the birds and the brights. I've had really good luck with the weather. And want to show people. Yeah, please. I would love to chat more when you're out there, just to show people what you can see the rolling hills from your backyard and the vines and.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So I will try to turn the camera. So this is the tasting room here with our bottles.
And that's over by the offices, right? That other, not where you live, but that little the older estate.
Yes, we are 200 meters from our home. So I'm going out through the corridor. So this is Chateau Lollery. Here.
And how long has wine been made there?
Yeah, I think you can see up the door, 1897.
Yeah, perfect timing. Yeah.
So this is the chestnut tree here. This is the former, how do you say that, for horses, the door for horses.
Oh, a stable.
Stable, yes. Then it was the pigsty, the white door, and the pigeon's house. So it meant the farm was quite important for the area because you could communicate. It was not Instagram, but it still works. So I'm going to take you to the vineyards. It's quite windy.
So, well, go ahead.
Maybe not tonight, but we'll receive beehives like every summer. I'm good friends with a guy, how do you say, beekeeper.
Okay.
Comes from Brittany for the acacia flowering because we have a lot of acacia in our woods. You see the woods behind the vineyards?
Mm-hmm.
So you have tires. Can you see the tires on the land? So
Tires?
the beehives. Tires.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we use
Okay.
tires just to put the beehives. So they will arrive soon.
Hi,
So
Nicole.
this is,
And they come every year to put the bees to pollinate the trees?
yes, every April. The beehives stay for a little bit more than a month every summer.
Wow, that's cool. Now, are you having bud break there yet?
Yes, let me show you. The buds just beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we were really worried the past week because we had frost one morning.
Yeah.
You can see the leaves are very fragile at that moment.
Yeah.
So, but it went down to 0, so it was not too bad.
Hi, Lauren. So yeah, I saw that they put what you call the little bougie, the candles out in Sauternes and Pessac. Yes, last night maybe, and they were worried in Chablis too. So do you put at Chateau Clémence, who I spoke with yesterday, they put out some branches and hay in case they had to start fires to keep everything warm. But you guys are okay?
So far we were okay, but it's I don't know, it's a decision to make, but we had problem 3 years ago with frost. The last time was 1991, and using candles or whatever, it's quite expensive too, so we'll have to figure that out for the future. If it's more regular, we'll see.
Yeah, especially as big as you are. Becky Sue asked if this is a typical spring. It's not, right? It's much more cold than usual.
It's not much colder, but as the winter was so warm, we had maybe 2 or 3 mornings with frost only.
Okay.
So the vines are very early at the moment. They're supposed to be still, not debudding. So it should be safe to have some frost now, but because the vines are very early, then it's dangerous. We'll see.
I see. It's that tricky little window.
Yes.
So how is the quarantine affecting you? I know it's less severe because you're spread out and in the country, but what would you normally be doing this time of year out in the vineyard, and how is that impacted? Are people coming to work? Is your office closed? What's happening in the north?
Happily, our staff is allowed to come to work because it's agriculture. So we have like a derogation. Can you say that in English?
A what? Interrogation?
Derogation, or we say derogation in French.
I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody will help us.
So it means you have a rule, but there are exceptions, and agriculture is an exception. So our staff is allowed to come to work, but some can't because they have to take care of their kids.
Yeah.
But, we have normal staff in the vineyard and in the cellar. But the sales are close to 0. It's we work a lot with restaurants in France, and it's normally our busiest time of year because before Easter lots of restaurants reopen, so it's very frustrating.
That has to be. Yeah, we're the same way. A lot of restaurants are doing delivery, and restaurants can now sell alcohol from the restaurant for delivery only. And a lot of wineries, Deidre Heeken up in Vermont is doing direct shipping and trying to figure all that out and sell through her website. Hi, Carrie. And so everybody's kind of scrambling, which is just terrifying. And hopefully this will end soon and we can all have a big party and make up for the sales.
Yeah, well, we really hope it will end at the end of April.
Say that again?
We hope it will stop at the end of April, but we don't know.
That's what we're hearing. In Italy, they're giving them I just spoke with a friend in Italy, and they're giving them much more cautious dates. So that's kind of scary. But
in France, we're like little children because they tell us every 2 weeks what's going to happen. So it's very difficult to plan anything.
Yeah, exactly. You can't plan ahead. For those of you that just joined, this is Marine Dubard. She's in Bergerac physically, where they have an 80-hectare estate, but they also have a property in Puiscan, Saint-Emilion, and Lalande Pomerol in Bordeaux. But she's talking to us from her vineyard in Bergerac. And one of the things I always remember from you, Marine, is you said even though you're not or certified organic, you treat the vineyards like your kids are playing in the vineyard, and so you treat them very, very well, and you don't spray things that you wouldn't want to be around.
Exactly, we are certified high environmental value,
Yes.
meaning we pay attention to what we spray in the vineyard, but also we pay attention to the water management, as we use a lot of water for cleaning, so we try to use as less water as we can, and to treat well the water that has been used. We also pay attention to the waste management, and we do whatever we can to encourage biodiversity. I don't know if you see around. Well,
like the bees.
Like the bees. So you have woods everywhere. I showed to people who were not there tires, that we added tires because a friend of mine who is a beekeeper will bring beehives in the coming nights. He does it at night because the bees are quiet and inside the beehives, so he transports them from Brittany during the night.
Okay.
And it's important in a vineyard, but in any culture, to have not a monoculture. It means if you have only vineyards, then it's not good for biodiversity. So we have beehives. We have an association with the LPO, Ligue de Protection des Oiseaux in France. It's an association who protects the birds. So
that's awesome.
Yes, they came to us because I wanted advice to add bird houses in the trees, because we have beautiful birds called upet. Very beautiful birds, specific from the vineyard. So we try to encourage them to come and arrive here in the spring, because they're in North Africa for the winter, and they come back here in spring. So I haven't seen some yet, but they will arrive soon, I'm sure.
Okay. Becky Sue earlier asked if there's other animals on the vineyard, either wildlife, or do you have horses or donkeys?
We have donkeys, but they belong to a neighbor, but it's very close to the vineyard. And every time I go running, I see red deer, boars, rabbits, anything you want to call. I don't know the name. Pheasant. I saw a pheasant yesterday when I went running. So yeah, every time I go out, I see something.
Do you ever get deer or wild boar that can damage the vines?
Yes, especially wild boars.
Oh, you do.
And red deer, they eat birds. So it's great to have wildlife, but it's a little bit too much sometimes. You have to regulate.
How do you prevent the deer from getting on the buds?
Well, if there aren't too many deers, it's okay, because it's life. We don't do anything. Yeah. Or sometimes, a friend of mine is a hairdresser, so I take hair from her, and we put hair in the vineyards because of the smell. It's a human smell, so they don't come. That's what is said. I can't say it works, but it doesn't. It doesn't do any damage anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I've heard that. That's very cool.
And it's, so it's funny. When I go and see her, and I go home with hair, and I just spread hair in where I noticed red deer.
That's crazy. I love that, though. It's very, very organic of you. For people that don't know Bergerac so well, can you tell a little bit about Bergerac? And even though it's not your property, but Sausignac and Monbaziec's a little bit different, and Duras has just joined the I don't know what you call it, the organization that represents you guys.
Yes, in Bergerac you have several sub-appellations. Here we are in the area of Montravel. So all our land is in the area of Montravel. So we choose what we want to produce. Montravel is more strict as regards quality and lower quantity. But depending on the market, for example, in the US, Montravel is not very well known. So we'd rather call it Bergerac. So it's not, for us, it's not a matter of quality. It's rather a question of fame also of the appellation, because we do the best quality possible for every wine we produce, but the name of the appellation also plays a role. You have Pécharmant near the city of Bergerac, so further east, and on the left bank you have Montbazillac and Saucignac, who make amazing sweet wine, very concentrated with amazing flavors. You have also Rosette, who's a sweet wine but with less sugar. Montbazillac is a little bit like Sauternes. It's made with Sémillon, and it's noble rot. Here we do a Côte de Montravel sweet. We do dry white with Bergerac and Montravel, with stainless steel vats or oak barrels also. And for the red, we do Bergerac and Montravel. Montravel is very interesting, very concentrated. So we do a blend of Merlot and Malbec for Montravel.
Wow, that sounds delicious. And Saucignac is also sweet, right? But
Saucignac is also sweet, yes.
Only sweet?
Yes, Saucignac is only sweet.
And so the grapes that are allowed in Bergerac and the grapes that you have, tell us about the range of wines you make.
Yes, so for the white, it's mostly Sauvignon Blanc and Sémillon. It's the two main grape varieties. So Sauvignon Blanc is very aromatic and fresh. We can blend a little bit of Sémillon to add volume in the mouth. We do sweet wine with Sémillon, also, Côte de Montravel. We also added a cuvée with only Sémillon, but fermented and aged like a dry white. It's called Juste Ciel. And then for the red, we use mostly Merlot because we are on the right bank of the river Dordogne. So it's, it's the king variety in all over the right bank of the river, like Saint-Emilion and Pomerol. Merlot is the king variety. We also use Cabernet Franc, which helps to have some structure and tannins. And Malbec, we really like Malbec because it's very spicy. We add some pepper and violet in the palate, so it's very interesting. And we recently planted vines that are not allowed in the appellation, but we thought it was interesting, so we planted Viognier.
That's right.
Almost 4 years ago, and Shiraz as well. So it will be an IGP, Indication Géographique Protégée, not within the Bergerac wine appellation.
Will you call it Vin de France or just IGP?
I think it will be an IGP rather.
IGP. Okay.
But we do a Vin de France for the US also, Cœur du Mont. It's a pure Sauvignon Blanc. We marketed this bottle only for the US.
That's the one that's in a shape like a Sancerre bottle that I tried with you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Delicious, yes. For those of you that care, these are the wines I drink at home. The Chateau Lollery Sauvignon Blanc is very affordable and really good. I sell it at the restaurant. And then I used to do your Merlot, but I had the Malbec when I visited you last year, and now I have the Malbec always on hand. Hey, Nelson from Vintner Project. I should connect you with Maureen. She's very smart and always has good advice about all kinds of things, actually. And when you tell me something about, I always remember little things that you told me once. You once told me that always judge a winemaker by their entry-level wine, which I think is very good advice. Can you explain that a little bit?
It's like, being without makeup when you wake up in the morning. You can't hide. I mean, if you do an entry-level wine, you have nothing to improve it, like an aging in barrel, or it's just pure juice. So you have to be very careful with the quality of the grapes, and it's all about the purity of fruit. So it's always so interesting to taste the entry level. And if it's a good quality, you can be sure it's a great vineyard manager who made the wine, which is the first great quality of a winemaker. And it's an attention to nature that is, to me, valuable. I really like, and again, it's like being without makeup. If you can, see your friends without makeup, then you can really show who you are. That's important.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy, and In Burgundy, that's how I find affordable Burgundy, because almost everybody that's a famous winemaker in Burgundy makes very expensive wine, but they also make a Bourgogne Rouge that's generally affordable, and you have the skill of the winemaker on an affordable wine, and I think it's very good advice. So find a fabulous
and you
wine you
also
like.
need, suddenly you decide to share a pizza with a friend. It was not planned, and you need a bottle of wine. You also need a casual and easy to drink wine, which is affordable. And
Exactly.
if you only have Grand Cru, 20 years of age in your cellar, you say, oh, I can't open this with a pizza. Come on, it doesn't.
Exactly.
You also need casual and simple moments.
That was a hard lesson for me to learn at the restaurant, because people come in and they just like, oh, just give me a Sancerre. And you want to sell them something interesting or something that your friend makes, and they don't care. They want to be with their friend, and you need wine for that occasion too.
And you don't need to spend a lot of money to enjoy a great wine.
Exactly, especially wines from regions like Bergerac that people don't know as much. You have fantastic winemakers like Marine here, who make affordable wine that you can drink every day. Another thing that you taught me is when you come to New York, you always go to St. Louis, which I find very charming. And explain that for me.
Well, I go everywhere where people are happy to see me, and I don't know. I think in New York, when I come in March, it seems like every person who ever touched a grape is in town. So nobody cares you're in town, except you. But when you go to places like St. Louis, they're so I don't know, honored that you made the journey.
Yeah.
Everyone is so excited. So I think it's great.
The reason that warms my heart is I'm from the Midwest, and so many people in New York and LA just consider the Midwest flyover country and not important, but they drink a lot of wine there, and they don't have the options that we have.
Restaurants. I mean, there are great things going on everywhere with passionate people. So it would be a pity to spend time only in big cities, because there are passionate people everywhere.
I love that you do that. Do y'all have any questions for Marine? She's again, one of the people I really look to that's doing great things in an honest, sustainable way. I just saw Martin Walker is not going to be able to do a book tour this year. He's got a new book coming out. If y'all don't know Martin Walker, he writes great mystery novels from the southwest of France, and he's friends with Marine. I was lucky enough to join them for dinner once, and he's doing video chats from home, and if you look at him on Facebook, there's some cool interviews and chats. So
he's a great guy. Yeah.
He's a great guy. So I have some of my friends have to drive. They don't live in their vineyards like you do, and they have to have a paper to show the gendarme. But I guess your workers probably do. But you're just walking to work right now, right?
Yes. Well, I can, but we are not allowed to leave home. But this is my home, you know.
Yeah.
So I can still run and go for a walk, and I don't leave home.
Maureen, do you know, my friend Nicole is asking, are your wines sold retail in New York? Yeah, they definitely are, and they're through Skurnik. And Nicole, I can help you find. But do you know any wine stores offhand that sell your wine?
Oh, I have some in mind, but maybe I can send the information to you, because it's not.
Yeah, send me it and I'll forward it along. I'll post it, because they are really great wines that we can all
Waverly Inn in Greenwich Village, for sure.
The Waverly Inn, yes, exactly. I'm kind of waiting for them to call and say, Jeff, can you come in? We're going to sell some of the cellar off, which is maybe good, maybe bad thing.
No, but there is Skurnik Wines, who sell to wine shops and restaurants. We also work with Jérôme Sélection.
That's right.
Our Puy-Seguin Saint-Emilion, that's the main two distributors.
Yeah. Becky Sue asked if everybody in Bergerac eats fresh from the garden, like in Martin Walker's books.
Not
you have a garden,
but very often, yes. Because if you don't do it yourself, then maybe your parents or your, uncle has a garden. So it's very easy, and we have amazing markets. every Saturday morning by the Dordogne River, we have a market, and it's local producers. So it's products that come from, the area. It's very fresh and easy.
But what are people doing now that those markets are closed? Just go to the supermarket when you need to?
They're not closed.
They're not closed.
No, there are fewer producers and fewer customers, but they're not closed happily, because it was, I was so happy to go out every Saturday morning. I was afraid they would close down, but they don't.
Yeah, oh, that's good to know, because those people need to sell their cheese and their confiture and all that too.
And asparagus just begin to be.
So, do you have a garden? I didn't see if you have a potager over there. That is your aunt
No,
take care
I'm
of a
very
garden?
lucky because my father-in-law has a big garden, so I get vegetable and fruit. We have an orchard with apples, pears, cherries.
That's
peaches.
nice.
Yeah, that's great.
So somebody asked on here, how do you think this COVID-19 will influence or change the way we make or produce wine?
Our production, I don't think it will affect us, but I'm quite worried for restaurants because it's small businesses, and I saw a friend of mine at the market last Saturday. He told me he has a restaurant, a great restaurant called Côté Bastide in Saint-Foy-la-Grande. He told me if it goes on until the end of April, I can manage, but after that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of like mortgages here in New York have been suspended, but they haven't done anything for rent, which the state, I guess, can back up the owner of apartment buildings to then give a break on rent. And I hope that they do that with restaurants too, because that is the challenge of this next month. But hopefully we'll have some good news. Well, I will let you go. I want to keep it under a half an hour because I'm posting these on to IGT Live, which is Instagram television, I guess, and putting it on YouTube too, and I have to break it up into segments. Tomorrow I'm talking with Chateau de Serrance, and then on Friday I'm talking with Thomas from Chateau Le Grand Verdu in Entre-deux-Mers. So it's been a week of Bordeaux this week. So thank you so much. It's really great to see your face. Give my love to your kids and Greg, and thank you for showing us around, and keep up the good work, and we're all going to buy your wine when we can.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone. I know it's difficult times for everyone.
It's very kind of you, Maureen. Take care, honey.